I sit in front of you today as a content creator, the Nigerian Scouser, but content creating was never a dream to me. You see, in my local dialect, they say a blacksmith doesn't put two metals in the fire at a time. Simply means you don't do two things at the same time. But my philosophy was different. I know the kind of country I come from where it's almost impossible to dream. So I had a lot of aspirations. I wanted to be a footballer. I wanted to be a fashion designer and many more. And everything seems to be going fine from the fashion designing point of view, which was my priority. But unfortunately, on this day, 2 years ago, something tragic happened to me. I woke up this morning and I was finding it difficult to get off my bed. It took me almost 30 minutes to finally achieve that. And within the next few hours, I broke down. I broke down to the level of almost complete paralysis. But in that moment, I felt in the next few days, and even in the hospital, they said in the next few weeks, I will be fine. But days turns into weeks, and weeks into months. And I still can't do anything for myself, by myself. I felt heartbroken. I felt depressed. I felt left behind. It felt as if my world was coming to an end. I felt forsook. Many people betrayed, but God, my family, and some few lovers were my strength. I felt for them there's a need to fight this. There's a need to survive and tell a story like I'm doing now. And so I did. But that was the most difficult decision I've ever made, because while in the day I put up a smile, many times in the night I weep. So many times in my lone moments I cry, because only me knew what I was going through. And so it continued for some months. But after a couple of months, I began to recover. It started with me being able to move my left thumb again. And gradually, I began to do things I want to do again. I know you'll be saying, this is the time to be happy. Yes, it is, but it came with its own challenges as well. Because at that moment, I needed to recharge my line again. I needed to subscribe to data again, and responsibilities began to pile up again. I know again you will be wondering, where are his family? I have a wonderful family and lovers who are always willing to support. But I have had this mentality since I was younger, not wanting to rely on anybody for my needs, especially financially, not even my dad. But in that moment, I was handicapped. I had no option. I have to do what I wouldn't want to do on normal. Rely on people. So I did, but not with satisfaction. Because I began to think, what can I really do in this my situation? I didn't really get an answer to that question, but I was scrolling on Facebook one day and I came across a page with about 3,000 followers. I slided into his DM and advised him on how to do some things on the page. Only God knows what he saw that he was able to trust me, a stranger, and he said I should help him run the page and he will pay me for it. Together we grew the page to about 12,000 followers. He never really paid, but I derived means of getting money out of the page. With our little followers, I ran a promo, did some prediction stuff, and at least we were getting money then. But it got to a stage that the money stopped coming again. And now I have to rely on people again. That was the most depressing moment of my life. I felt really depressed because I'm a man, and it hurts because nothing hurts a man like not being able to be a man. And at that moment, I have no option than to rely on people again. It felt as if I was going to run mad. I swear, you might not understand, but it felt as if in any moment I would just run out of the house and start misbehaving. But worrying will never solve any problem. So I actually did rely on people again, but with the thought of I must find something to do. So I decided after a long thought that I will do a footballing content creating. I started planning, and after about 4 months, I was able to put the basic things I need together of phones, and not even up to 100k, but it took me almost 4 months. That tells you a lot. And after that, I began what you know today as the Nigerian Scouser, a footballing content creator. But content creating itself needs funding. But at that moment, I needed money myself. So I needed to think of another way of getting money. So I got a team job. It's really, really stressful doing the both. But I have to survive. The pay is nothing to write home about, and I'm even thinking if I can save up and start up another thing. Doing the two alone is already derailing my energy, derailing me mentally. But I still have to survive. If I would walk now, you see that I'm not fully recovered. And if you can look from my hands, I'm not fully recovered to be going through all this. But it's because of the kind of mentality I have. I just don't want to rely on anyone. I want to stand on my own. But I have no option. You watching me now can't give me an option. I will be posting my account number at the end of this video. If you want to support me financially, I will be grateful. But please, what I want from you, just follow, like, comment on this post, share it. You might want to tag today Edna to it. Do the same to all of my social media platforms, the Nigerian Scouser, including YouTube. Please just help me get monetized. Let me start up the life again. Let me stand on my own again. Please, the Nigerian Scouser, please support. Believe.